Hello, I'm Robert, and you're welcome here in my busy little shop. On today's episode of What's on the Workbench, it's belts. Now, that's probably not a big surprise for the people that usually watch my channel, but today I'm going to go a little bit different. I want to talk about a quality belt versus a non-quality belt, and where you buy the belt. Does it make a difference on whether it's a good quality or not? I've got two belts here that are from a big name specialty men's store. And it's got their brand name on it. It says genuine leather. So we're going to find out what this belt is really made from here, and is it a bargain to buy that belt at the specialty store? You would think that if you're buying high-end suits and shirts and slacks, that the belts that they're going to sell you are going to be high-end as well. And they might be. But let's go over here on the workbench and we'll take a look and find out. I appreciate you taking time to be with me today. All right, let's take a look. There's a brown belt and a black belt here. And see the buckles. The buckles, they have a nice shine to them. And as you can see, it's from what I think most people would consider a high-end men's store here. And it says on here, genuine leather. Made in China, which, I mean, that's not totally unusual to have one made in China. The buckle is sewn on and with what appears to be a leather keeper. So, and the belt's not heavily worn, haven't been used much here. That one there almost doesn't even look like it's been used at all. So, that's what you're waiting for, right? Let's see what we've got here. It's not unusual for me to cut one open and find cardboard in the middle. And then a lot of times the closest thing they've got to leather is bonded leather. Yeah, what is that? Taking my time here, trying not to injure myself. What is that? Well, that's not even bonded leather. Sure doesn't look like it. It looks like some kind of paper. It looks like it might have leather on the top. Let me see if I can skive this down a little bit so we can get down to that top layer and we can see what the thickness of that is. I'd like to find out what you're getting here. Oh, that's not leather. Don't act surprised. I'm not. Okay, so right here, it was on there like that. So I haven't gotten into the leather here. Let's see how thick this leather is. We have 4.5 ounces of this. And it's not the top grain leather, but, yeah. So it sure looks like it's a finished split is what that is. So let's talk about leather for just a moment here. This is a full grain section of leather. Full grain meaning nothing has been removed from the top. It's not unusual for some companies that make belts to actually sand and remove a little bit of that top layer of the leather. They're doing that to remove wrinkles, creases, maybe scars from the animal's life that maybe would detract from what some people think is the beauty of the leather. So, but the very top layer of the hide is the strongest part of this strap. Matter of fact, I was talking about, what's the difference between genuine leather and full grain leather or top grain leather. There's so many terms, and the scariest of all those terms is it's genuine leather, because anything that's leather is genuine leather. Here's another strip of leather here, and I peeled off the back of this to thin this down. I did it in this case just to show you the difference. So we're at a little bit less than 5 ounces, and this is what I cut off the back of it. So this is what you would call a split. And a lot of people are like, well, why would they make belts out of splits? Well, it's inexpensive to buy. There may be times when I order a hide from a leather tannery, and I'll ask them to split it down to, say, 6 ounces, because I use 2 layers of 6 to make my belt. In that case, they've got that split left over, and the split looks like this on both sides. This is still genuine leather. It's a split. So, and when you remove that off the back, a lot of the strength is still here on this belt because the top layer is the strongest. This split here is very easy to tear because it doesn't have any of that strength. And we've got 2 ounces there in that split. Now, can I make a belt that looks good out of splits? So let's first look at this. This is one of my belts here. This is a 2-layer belt. It's finished out at 12 ounces. And you have this top side of the leather twice on each side. That's where the most strength is. That's the reason why I like to make my belts that way. It helps to limit stretch, because obviously this split is going to stretch pretty easily. But the full grain leather, like this, you can stretch it, but it's much harder to stretch. Well, I've doubled that here. And I end up with a belt that I think is really a nice looking quality belt, the finish on it. Here's another. This is 2 layers here. This is 2 layers that come up to 8 ounces. And I made this to make a point here. So it's hand stitched 2 layers, but look what I created out of it. It's created from 2 splits. So obviously you can make a belt, and I can call this a 2-layer genuine leather belt, and it is exactly that. Is it durable? It's probably more durable than this belt from that department store or specialty store with the paper in between of it. But it's similar in the amount of split leather, because I think in looking at this, this isn't actually vinyl on the back. This is split leather here on the back. So, but my point of this is I have this in my booth a lot of times to show people, saying this is a 2-layer genuine leather belt. It just happens to be made out of splits. And you can see, I laminated together contact adhesive just like I normally do. I did the edges, I stitched the belt, and that looks like a pretty durable belt. And it probably is somewhat durable, but it's never going to last like this belt here is. So I just wanted to talk just for a moment about the differences, between genuine leather, and then I was talking a little bit about it, but bonded leather is if you take these fibers here and you put them back together and in resin, so they grind this up, put together in resin, and then roll it out to the thickness that you want. That is bonded leather, still genuine leather. It's the particle board of leather. But you lose that strength of that top layer. I suppose, if I wanted to make a 2-layer belt, I wanted to get up that thickness, I could always, put this onto a layer of splits, and that would get me to there. I could buy the leather in 1 layer that is the desired thickness, which is 12 ounces, but I like the fact that on my 2-layer belts that you have the top grain leather on both sides of the belt, and you have the strength of that, you have the beauty of that, and I've got another belt here I've been wearing for 2 years as my daily wear belt, and yeah, sure, it shows some wear on it. I think that's some of the beauty of it, but it's 2 layers of leather and 2 years, and it's not going to break here. The belts that break there have paper in them. I've opened up some in the past where it has a split on the top and then 2 layers of paper and a layer of vinyl on the back. It just, you don't have any strength. And the other problem with that design of a belt is that, if you remember, I said that the split has a lot of stretch to it. So you put something on the front that's got a lot of stretch to it, and then you put vinyl on the back that has a lot of stretch to it. The paper doesn't have stretch to it. The paper breaks, and that's why those belts will crack right here at that hole. And you know, how much more does it cost to get a quality belt as opposed to you know, a less than quality belt? I don't want to use a derogatory term. It's really not that much when you look at what you're getting in return. All right, so let's talk for a second. I don't think there's anybody in this group that's watching my video today that's surprised that a belt that you've bought at a store isn't necessarily, you know, all leather. It says genuine leather, and I've talked about it before. Genuine leather just means it's made from leather fibers, and that could be ground up and bonded together. It could be the splits off the back side of it. You would think, at least I would, you know, if I wasn't in the Leathercraft world, that if I'm buying from an expensive men's store, that the belt that you're going to buy there is going to be a quality belt. And is it a quality belt? I guess it's a quality belt compared to maybe a 5 and dime store type of belt. But I'm going to say this belt here is not any better than a belt that you would buy at Target or Kohl's for probably half or 60% of the price of the belt that you'd buy at this department store. And I get it, they're capitalizing on the fact that they've got an audience in there, and they're buying a suit, and they're buying a shirt, and they're buying a tie, and they're like, yeah, give me a new belt too. But wouldn't it be nice though if it was a quality belt, you know, something like the belts that I make. Now, this belt here, I've been wearing this belt here for 2 years, and you can see that it's been worn. It's not going to break here. This belt here, I'd be surprised if it makes it to 18 months. And that's with, you know, fairly light use, not as a work belt. And I've been wearing this as a work belt, as an everyday belt, you know, over that length of time for 2 years here. And I'd be surprised if it's not still going after 10 years. Well, I just thought maybe a little bit of a pot shot at some of the big names out there, the quality men's store belts, and see what you get there. I appreciate you taking time to be here with me today. Please like, share, and subscribe, but more importantly, I do hope you have a great day.